Hello, it's Kari here, and I'm so excited to be with you. I wasn't planning on this, but I had sort of a bananas day yesterday. It was a really sort of strange, interesting day full of all kinds of lessons. And I knew it had to do with the energies of 2020. So I'll explain. So first of all, whenever I am in the process of teaching something or getting something ready to teach, I always have to learn the lessons about what it is that I'm about to share, right? Like we teach what we need to learn, and like what better way to do it than to experience it in real life. So for instance, when I was getting ready for my animal souls class that I was teaching several years ago, my cat died. It wasn't really my cat, it was a cat that lived in our yard, but love of my life. Anyway, so, and that was part of what I was teaching. And it's really funny because every time I'm doing a video and I'm going to be a monthly forecast and I'm going to be talking about Mercury retrograde, all kinds of crazy pants stuff happens. Like, you know, someone will decide to like mow the lawn of a public park, like right in front of me, and like just weird hot air balloons. I don't even know, crazy stuff. So I always look at everything, and this is what I do. I interpret everything in the universe as a sign, because everything is like a message for us, because the universe is alive with messages. And this is what I do. I interpret the messages around us, and that includes planets and numbers. So I spend a lot of time reflecting, oh my gosh, there's so much happening in 2020 that, so I'm getting ready to teach my annual forecast event. And this year it's more than just a forecast, because it is a new decade, and this has been a very intense few years. So we're starting out with energy clearing and bringing in our guides for protection and healing and the forecast and numerology. So if anyone's ever taken a course of mine or anything that I've shared, well, even my forecast, you can probably tell how much love and care I put into things. So you may know my Chief Happiness Officer, Jess. So Jess and I really worked hard in a labor of love kind of way to make the registration page. We want everything about this entry into this new decade to be magic, right? So that's why we're calling it 2020 Illuminated 4 Days of Forecast Magic and Healing, because magic is a big part of what we all need to bring into our life, especially because next year is going to have a lot of energies about very much the earth plane. So you need to balance that with magic and fairy dust, right? So we worked so hard to make the registration page like just a magical, beautiful experience. And we tested it and we tested it. So this is one thing to know about me. Like I am typically not afraid of like, do I have enough words to say? Do I know what I'm going to say? The thing that kind of always makes me anxious, whether I'm doing a video or a live event, is technology. Like, I just like so much can go wrong, right? So we tested the heck out of this thing to make sure it was going to be a smooth experience. And like, so the day after registration started, I woke up and I was like, wow, I am amazed. There was like not one technical thing. This is like a manna from heaven, right? Okay. You can see where this is going. So like at midnight that night, for those of you who know anything about me, I'm very much a night owl. I don't believe these people that say only morning people are productive. I've got 5 planets in Virgo. I'm plenty productive. so like I'm a night owl. And so it was like midnight. Now mind you, my team are all morning people, which works perfectly for everybody. And it's not a huge team, but most people live in Central Time, and I'm Pacific Time. So it was like midnight, and I get this thing from PayPal, like, oh, we're gonna make this easier and better for you and your customers. Just click here and upgrade. And I'm like, cool. I want to make things easier and better for everybody. So guess what happened? So like every single checkout link on every single page I ever made somehow went wonky. Like it just didn't work like on anything. So, you know, they all woke up at like 5 a.m. their time. And I'm like, you know, upstairs meditating, like getting ready for my day. I'm taking my time because I had like this, you know, this week of preparing to share this with the world. And so I really like took my time. But, you know, so I like finally look at my phone and it's like, yeah, nothing works. So like we got on a Skype call and it was like, so by the way, for those of you who try to register, you can register now. So that's all great, by the way, because I am super blessed to have like the most amazing team around. So we're all trying to figure this out, and like they have kids and they're like, well, it's getting late here. I have to do this and this, and I have to make dinner and I have to. So it was like one of these things. It was like, we're all like starting to scramble. Like we were starting to make like, kind of like, oh, well, let's do this or let's do that. And then we're like, no, let's just take a little break. So here's where I wanted to share this with you. So mind you, yesterday I was going to come on and do a Facebook Live about karma in 2020, because one of the big themes about 2020 is your karma awakening. And there was all these clues with the 12-12-12 full moon that we had and this incredible event that's happening on the 12th and all this. And so I was like, wow, there's so much I want to share about this karmic and how to handle the karmic awakening that we're all going to have in 2020. So that was my plan for yesterday, and it was not what happened, obviously, because we were trying to help people get registered and have a nice experience and things going smoothly. So here's what happened. So we were all very kind of scrambled when we were trying to like hurry up and make decisions. And then because they all had to like go and take care of their kids, we all got to take a break. So I did what any responsible adult would do in that situation. And I went to Zumba. So because I'm like, you know, they have 2 hours where they need to deal with their kids. So I'm going to go and like have fun and clear my mind and get in my body and not like, and like detach from this. And so in this process of us all detaching, it's like we were able to have some clarity and make some decisions about how we're going to fix it. Because there were a lot of options. It's like, should we switch everything to PayPal? Should we like not use credit cards? It was bananas. Or pick a fruit, whatever. So but what happened is we took this space and it helped me get a lot of perspective as well, because I was like, is this like, I mean, like, why is there even a panic energy around this? Because one, let's have some big picture energy here. This is not like a major, like, situation. This is something that quite obviously, we don't know how to fix it yet, but I'm 100% sure that it has a solution. And two, I'm so blessed to have this support team. I used to have to do this by myself. And here I have these incredible people helping me, like in their evening. And like, so it went from feeling like very stressed to very blessed, right? So, and of course I'm reflecting on, well, this has to be a message about 2020, because I'm here preparing for the 2020 event and what I'm going to be sharing, and nothing's random. Right? So this is obviously a teaching. So here is what I wanted to share with you, because this is going to be a lesson for us all in 2020, because 2020 is a year where life is going to be like, here's the thing. There's all this karmic energy happening, and I'll share this for another time, the details about that. And again, I have so much to share about this. This is why this event that I'm planning is a 4-day event, because this is no ordinary year, and this is the beginning of the decade, and I want to make sure that you start this off with all the spiritual and practical tools that you need, because this is part of what 2020 is about being very practical. It's about real life stuff, because it's a 4 universal year. So it's going to be all about finance, business, home, your body, all the material things are going to be the focus. And we have all this in Capricorn, which is an earth sign, which is very much about earth, right? This is the mountain goat, or sometimes known as the sea goat also, but it's all about how you're managing. And this is all about process. Capricorn teaches you process. The 4 energy teaches you process. The 4 and the Capricorn are very much aligned. So it's a very universal message. But then there's all this spiritual theme with 2020, because 2 is the number of the high priestess in the tarot. And then the 0 is all this spiritual protection and potential. So it's this incredible mashup of highly spiritual energy and very practical. So this is why I'm calling this the year to build your dreams. But if you've ever built anything, a business, a career, a home, your finances, your health, you know that it's first of all, it's not easy, but it's gratifying. And there's always going to be like growing pains, right? You're like, oh my God, I didn't expect this, because you could plan anything, right? And I highly suggest that you plan. And this is why we do the forecast, so you understand the lessons around it as well. So planning is not just like, okay, I'm going to do A, B, and C, and then it's all going to go perfectly. Planning is all about having the tools, the spiritual tools that you need to respond to everything. And this is where I thought this was so funny. So of course I'm talking to my husband about 2020 energy, and I love the fact that he has so much insight for me as well, and we can share this. So I was saying that one of the themes of 2020 is going to be responsibility, and learning how to respond to our reality different. And he goes, responsibility, the ability to respond. How did I not think of this before? Did you know this? Is this obvious? Is this one of those things that, like, I mean, honestly, that blew my mind. So this is like before this thing happened. So I thought about those words as, you know, this technical. I mean, all it was a technical glitch. And it wasn't like the day that like I started registration. Well, so what if it was anyway? Or like the day before. And again, so what if it was anyway? I mean, really? So I was thinking about that, and I was like, well, how do I respond to this situation? One, my first thoughts were, what if these people, what if they have trouble? What if they don't come back? And then it was like, okay, and so this is it. You know, it may not seem like an epiphany for you, but I have to tell you, like, it was a real learning lesson. What other kind of lessons are there? But you know what I mean. So it was a real lesson about what to expect in 2020. You can plan and you can test, and a big part of planning is going to be, number one, keeping your perspective about the big picture, and 2, don't be codependent in your responses, because all that what if they responses that were going on in my head, that's like codependent. So 2020 is a 4 universal year, and the 4 is the emperor in the tarot. And so I was thinking, how do I respond as the emperor? Right? Like, am I going to like freak out about this, or am I going to be like, let's work as a team to manage this, to make this better, right? So it's about taking back your authority, about claiming the power in your life rather than freaking out over and reacting. So there's a big difference between reacting and responding. So this is why I came on here to share this with you, because this is going to be a lesson all throughout 2020. I have to tell you, we have a lot starting March. It's personal planets. It's just going to be retrograde after retrograde of personal planets. And we start off with an eclipse. So there's when we're starting off with a lunar eclipse, and then this dramatic event on the 12th, that Saturn Pluto Capricorn conjunction that hasn't happened since 1512, for 700 years. I mean, there's so much about 2020 that is going to be spiritual lessons. So the high priestess has at least as much to teach you as the emperor, and they're very there's an art to balancing that, right? And again, that's why I'm coming on here and sharing this with you. And that is why I am doing this 4-day event, because there are so many spiritual lessons of 2020. And because we have so much in Capricorn, the temptation could be about just planning the physical things. And there's so much more to that, because this year actually ends with a new, so we actually bridge these decades with this eclipse portal. And that's opening you up to the truth. That's awakening to your true purpose and things that have been hidden from you. And this is how we're entering the decade, with this like bridge between eclipses. So if we're beginning this decade with a lunar eclipse in this dramatic event, 2 days later, you can bet that there's going to be a myriad of spiritual lessons. I almost said a miracle, because that's also what it is. So I'm encouraging you, as you're moving forward and you're setting your intentions and you're planning for 2020, you prepare yourself to recognize, first of all, to be grounded. And that's part of what the 4 teaches us as well. It's all about the earth plane. So to be grounded, to be in your body, and to be responsible to yourself and your well-being above anything. And that is how you can be present to respond to situations, to have responsibility for any situation that comes at you. And I want to remind you that the emperor doesn't go, what if other people? Like, that's just, so, you know, these 12s that kept coming up, like that 12-12-12 full moon at 12:12 a.m. One of the things the 12 teaches you is to be true to yourself first. That's number 1. And then you can have healthy harmony and partnerships with others. And that's the number 2. And of course, 3, which it adds up to. First of all, 1, 2, 3, it's about lining things up and getting your ducks in the row. It's reminding you that life could be as easy as 1, 2, 3, if you allow it. And it's also about expressing what's in your heart. So that's why I came in here online to share this with you, to remind you to stay present, to have a perspective that nothing is as dramatic as it may seem in the moment, to keep your eye on the big picture. I have a lot of insights about the big picture of 2020 that I've been putting together. I'm going to be sharing them with you. And really, I would love for you to join me to be prepared for this, because that's one way to be, to have, that's why they call people first responders. The more prepared you can be. And I really, I don't say this lightly, like everything that you've been doing for the past several years has been leading up to what you're going to be building in 2020, and how strong you need to be, and how gratifying and fulfilling it can be if you have the right tools. And that's why I'm very passionate about sharing these tools with you. And if you would like to join me, that link is working now. It's at karisamuels.com/2020-illuminated. I'll put the link for you below. I wanted to share this with you, and I hope that this has helped you have a perspective, and just remember to stay present, to remember how much support that you have in real life and in the heavens, and just simply stay in your body and expect for things to work for you, and I promise they will. I send you so much love, and again, that's at karisamuels.com/2020-illuminated. I'll put the link below. I love you so much, and I have so much to share with you about this incredible decade. Love you. Take care. Bye-bye.